You wouldn't build a house without a foundation, so why try to build a business without one? Grow your contracting business and grow your mind with Growth Mindset Monday.
Well, all right. Welcome back to Mindset Monday. Excited to be here on this beautiful Monday with each of you. If you're in the north, you're experiencing a little bit of the chills. That's right. It's officially cold. We got some snow on the ground last night. It melted. The mountains are covered in snow, and it's a little chilly, we'll say, this morning. But really excited to be here with you guys. It's a beautiful week. For some of you guys, it's a short week. You work Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, take Thursday, Friday, and the rest of the week off. And if you can do that, congratulations. Proud of you. Excited that you built a business that allows you to do that. For the rest of you, hey, goals. It's where we want to go, right? You guys know the drill. If you're here live, go ahead and drop your name, your business name, and where you're from. We'll be sure to give you a shout out. I'm really excited this Monday because of this being Thanksgiving week. Now, the issue that most of us have with Thanksgiving is we got to spend it with family, right? Your mother-in-law or some maybe siblings that you don't get along with, right? But ultimately, the purpose of this week is to give thanks, right? To be grateful for certain things. Now, this morning I was on a call with a client of mine. They're a trim carpenter, and we were talking about their business. And last week he goes, I bid $1.2 million worth of work. Bid $1.2 million worth of work. And I was like, how do you feel about things? He's like, I feel pretty bad. And I was like, why do you feel pretty bad? He goes, because if we land even a quarter of it, I'm going to be screwed. And we laughed, right? Good problem to have. But if you think about it, right, his mind was thinking about things not to be grateful for, right? Like the fact that if he does land even a quarter of this, which I guarantee you he's going to land at least half of it, that he's going to be up a creek, right? Now we got a couple folks that have chimed in, so we're going to give them a shout out. Michael Babbitt, BMF Services, Charlevoix, Michigan. Welcome to the show, to the show. A little tongue-tied this morning. We got Marcus Urquhart. Apologize if I pronounce that incorrectly. Absolute Skill Set, Dallas, Texas. Welcome to the show. Now, back to this topic that I was sharing with you guys, right? This gratitude thing. I want you guys to think about how often you wake up on a Monday morning and you're grateful about the problems that you have. Grateful that you have employee issues. Grateful that you're struggling to close more deals. Grateful that you don't have more opportunities to find potential trade partners. Grateful that your finances are a mess, because thank the good Lord you're alive. You and I are still here, and we're still pushing forward, and we're still on the path to success. Now, you're here for a reason, right? And it's to work on this thing, that mindset of yours. How do we get the right mindset that will lead to the right skill set that will ultimately lead us to the result or the outcome that we're after? That's why we're here. I'm going to let you in a little secret. There's a cheat code. There's a cheat code to success. If you don't believe me, just go on YouTube and start Googling 9-figure business owners or 8-figure business owners, and you'll see they're there, right? But I want you to pay attention to what they're talking about, right? A lot of them talk about, where is your mind at? Why? Because at the end of the day, a business is a reflection of you, the business owner. And if your mindset isn't in the right place, then what's going to happen to your business? See, the rest of the conversation with this trim carpenter this morning went like this. Hey, how's that training coming along with your new guys? Oh, not so good. Okay. What about that new sub that you onboarded? Yeah, they didn't do a good job. We had to go back and redo it. And I sat there for a second and I was like, wait a minute. Do you realize what the problem is here? And he's like, we're not finding the right people. I was like, nope, not the problem. That's where everybody goes to think, or because they think that that's where the problem is. But the problem isn't the people that you're attracting. The problem isn't the people that are working with you. The problem is, drum roll, wait for it. It's you. It's you, because it's your business. See, any problem that you have inside of your business isn't the economy's problem, isn't the weather's problem, isn't your competition's problem. It's your problem, right? So at the end of the day, any problem that occurs inside of your business is yours. 100%. It's yours, and you have to own it. We got Tim that joined us on the show. Welcome, Tim. Again, if you're just joining us, give us your name, your business name, and where you're from, and we'll be sure to give you a shout out. Now, back to the topic at hand. Why do we have so many problems being an owner? Because we don't know what it means to be an owner. When I hired my first employee, I hired her and I said, all right, Chelsea, this is what I need you to do. I need you to bring me more leads. She's like, okay. I'm like, okay, any questions? She's like, yes. How do you want me to do that? And I laugh, and you're probably laughing too, and it seems obvious, but that's the mentality that we have when we go in and we start doing this. You cannot assume that anyone knows anything. See, when I was a sergeant in the police department, I was working over our organized crime unit, which basically meant we were picking off drug loads coming across the border. Sounds kind of fun. Yeah, it was at times, but I'll be honest, at times it was not so much fun, right? And I remember when I first joined what I believed was this elite squad, and they were elite, right? But I joined this elite squad, right? I'm now their supervisor. I'm the HBIC. I'm the man in charge, right? I joined a squad and I got them all together and I was like, all right, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to finish this case and we're going to go do that. And we're going to be the best freaking squad in the city, in the state. And hell, we're going to give the nation a run for its competition. Everybody's like, yeah, all right. Okay, ready, break. And everybody went back to doing whatever they were doing before. And I had no idea what they were doing. Nothing. No idea. My office was in another part of the building. No idea what the conversations were. No idea what the cases were. No idea of anything that was happening, right? So here I am assuming that these guys and gals knew what they were doing. And they did to a point, right? But the other thing that they knew is that they were going to give as much as was expected out of them, right? But at that point, I hadn't set expectations. I'd given a rah, let's go team speech. And everybody loves those, except when they don't take you anywhere. All right, we're going to pause for a second. So Tim Bass, Straight Up Home Repair, Austin, Texas. I was down in San Antonio a couple weeks ago. Didn't make it up to Austin, but good old San Antone. Good food. We've got Vinny, Redwoods Eco, Golden, Colorado. Welcome to the show. Right. So why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all this because I want you to understand what it takes to be a business owner. It's not just about your ability to get people's attention, i.e. marketing, get them to sign on the dotted line, i.e. sales, and then hammer a nail or screw something together or throw some drywall or paint up. It's not about that. If you really want to be a business owner, the only way you create a business is you learn how to manage people. You have to learn how to manage people. Do you know how long it took me to become a really good supervisor? I wouldn't say I was excellent. There were still holes in the system and whatnot. You know how long it took me? It took me 2 years. It took me 2 years because I didn't have a cheat code. I didn't have a shortcut. I didn't have anything. In fact, I was afraid to ask. Sure, I read some books here and there and whatever, but I was afraid to ask. And you guys have a unique opportunity in front of you. Man, it is 20 freaking 24, almost 25. We've got ChatGPT, right? All over the place. We've got YouTube, right? There's all these different places that you can go to get resources. In fact, crazy as this sounds, I'm creating my own program where you can ask anything related to the contracting space, leadership, marketing, sales, operations, team, finance, any of these questions. And this machine will answer the way that I would answer. Like, I'm super excited about that. And don't worry, I'll share it with you guys. You get access to it. We'll make sure that Justin gets it in front of you guys. But I'm telling you this because I want you guys to know what it takes to be a good leader, right? In fact, I want you to know what it takes to be a great leader. Now, what are the 5 basic principles of being a good leader? Okay, I want to go through this with you guys really quick. And by the way, if you guys have any questions regarding leadership or struggles with an employee or whatever inside of your business right now, drop them in the chat. We'll make sure we answer them. Okay, number 1, the most important thing is you have to give clear directions. Clear directions. Now think about this, right? You have a team, maybe it's you and one other guy. Maybe it's you and a team of 20 or 30, right? Doesn't matter. Clear directions, i.e., what do I want you to do? How do I expect you to do it? Accountability is great. We love holding people accountable. But if you're not clear on what you're holding them accountable to, how do you think you're ever going to hold them accountable? How? Going back to my trim carpenter client, right? He had a job that was a couple hours out of town. And so he sent a sub to go do this job, right? He couldn't make it out there for another few days. So he ends up going out there 4 days later and notices that the work was not up to his quality. So he gets pissed off and he gets frustrated and he tells the sub he's going to hold the other half of his money until he takes care of the repairs. Whatever's left over will go back to the sub, right? And I'm like, that's all fine and dandy. But did he know how you wanted him to do things? The answer was no. And so, yeah, you can be pissed off at him all day long, but you should really be pissed off at yourself. I want you guys to grow a successful contracting business. Painters, plumbers, remodelers, electricians, whatever it is that you are. I want you to be successful, but you got to understand it's going to take more than what you're putting out right now. So number 1 is clear directions. I want you to think about the NFL, for example, whether you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, all our Texas boys out there, or not. I'm not here to judge, right? Go Chiefs. I'm not here to judge. I just want you to understand a concept in football, okay? In football, you have coaches on the sidelines. The coaches have headsets, right? Why do they have headsets? Well, because the quarterback has a headset inside his helmet. Why does the quarterback have a headset inside his helmet? So that the coach can communicate clearly what the next play needs to be. And then the quarterback can communicate clearly to everyone in the huddle, this is the play. Now the quarterback goes to the line. Well, he sees the defense is different than what he thought it was going to be. So he calls an audible. And he communicates with his team, sometimes through hand gestures, sometimes through words, but communicates with his team what the adjustment needs to be. If that doesn't work, the play doesn't work. Period. Clear communication. My son's in the military right now. He's in the Navy. Go Navy. Now I've got to say in the Army Navy game every year. Go Navy. Except my dad's Army, so it gets a little weird, but hey, we're good with it, right? He's in the Navy, right? And part of his training, they had to do firefighting on a ship because if there's a fire on a ship, it's a big deal, right? It's not when they see a fire, everybody that's available runs to the fire. That's not how you fight a fire, right? There's a clear line of communication. There's a leader, right? The leader communicates to the leaders of these different groups, and then these leaders of different groups move their people into a different position to fight the fire. That's the way it works, right? Clear communication. In police work, it's no different. In construction, it should not be more different, but we make it more different. Why? Because we're stubborn, because we assume, because we insert blank, right? Now think about this. I want you to think, okay? What if of all the things I'm going to tell you today, it's only 5. What if the only thing that you implemented, the only thing was clear communication? How different would your business run? Clear communication with your clients, clear communication with your vendors, clear communication with your subs or your employees, clear communication. How different would your business run? Right? That's what I want you to start thinking about. I'll give you another example of this. Okay. If you're an electrician and you're wiring a house, how important is it to have the wires going to the right place? Right? It's super important. And so if you have somebody working with you, but the way that you're wiring is different, what's the likelihood of you being able to wire the right way? You start to increase the odds of that not happening, right? Which, are you going to pass four-way? Probably not. Even if you do, what's the likelihood of something going wrong when you turn over the keys to the homeowner? Pretty high, right? Again, clear communication. This can be verbal at the beginning of the week or the beginning of a job, but it can also be written down. If I was to ask you, how many different ways are there to roof, asphalt, shingle, a roof? How many different ways are there to wire a house? How many different ways are there to pour concrete? How many different ways? There's a lot of different ways to do this stuff, right? But there's only one way that you want it done. And so why not just document it? Why not just write it down and be like, hey, this is the way that we trim a house. This is the way that we paint a wall. This is the way that we insert blank. How different would your business run? You would have a standard, right? A standard to hold people to. All right, let's move on to the second one. Being a good leader, actually being a great leader, okay? Number 2, providing the necessary tools. Interesting, right? When we think about the tools for the job site, what do we think about? Hammer, nails, hammer gun, paint sprayer, the truck. Like, that's what we think about when it comes to the right tools. But I want you to start thinking about employees as people, not just as employees. Okay? Employees as people. Because here's the truth. People have problems. Businesses have problems. But when you combine a person bringing their problems to work, it now becomes the business's problem. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some dude had an argument at home, or his wife kicked him out of the house, or he was drunk last night, or insert the thing that happened at home, right? He's going to bring that stuff to work, and it's going to affect you, and it's going to affect your job site, and it's going to affect the quality of work, right? So we got to make sure we're paying attention to and taking care of our people. Now, this isn't a conversation about you, although you guys know that I preached on it before. You got to take care of yourself, okay? This is taking care of our people. So Justin, for example, I'm sure he'll tell you at some point, just took a trip across the pond the other way to go have some time with his team, right? Big part of his team. Why would he take time out of his busy schedule to do that? Because he realizes how important it is to take care of his team, for them to see him, for them to understand that he's there for them, for him to provide value beyond just a paycheck. So you need to take care of your team, right? Provide them the right tools. Sometimes the tool is a day off. Sometimes the tool is a better piece of equipment. Sometimes the tool is a raise. Sometimes the tool is whatever it is, right? You got to think about that as being the business owner. Again, if you're joining us late, go ahead and drop your name, your business name, and where you're from. We'll give you a shout out. We got Jessica here that says, Jess, love your projects, Inc. Pretty cool name. I like it. Out of H-Town, Houston, Texas. Welcome to the show. Now, what's the third thing? The third thing is the one thing that I believe holds most contractors back. We call this the Frozen effect. You've all seen Frozen. I don't care if you're a single guy. You've seen Frozen too, right? Let it go. I'm not going to sing anymore, right? Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, right? You hired the person to do the thing that you want done, and yet you're not letting them do it. Why did you hire them? Right? You hired the guy to manage the project, and you're not letting him manage the project. You're still managing the project. I can't tell you how many contractors I talk to day in and day out that their biggest complaint is they're still wearing all the hats. My first question to them is always, how big is your team? And when they say anything greater than 2, I just stare at them. I stare at them because they know, and I know, They suck at managing a team. Your purpose is not to just hire people. Your purpose is to hire a team. And if you're hiring the right team, which is a different conversation, but let's just assume you're hiring the right team, you have to get out of their way. You have to. I have a guy that I used to work with, Jay's his name. They used to do remote security, right? There's job site security cameras, that run on solar and have the red and blue lights, all that good stuff. When I started working with Jay, he was doing about $2.5 million a year, working 70 hours a week, traveling all over God's green earth, literally from Arizona to Florida, dropping off some equipment and then driving back. No break. 48 hours, right? There and back. Crazy, right? At the same time, trying to run and manage the office. When Jay had a full team in place already to be able to do that. And it got to the point where I had to go around Jay and talk to his manager and go, hey, you're going to have a conversation with Jay and tell him to get the hell out of the office. And I told Jay, I was like, hey, just so you know, I talked to your guys. And the guy told him, stay out of the office. Because when you come to the office, you cause more problems than you solve. Crazy, right? But that's the kind of team you want. You want a team that solves problems. But then you have to get out of their way. That doesn't mean ignore what's happening. Yes, you still have to hold them accountable, but get out of their way and let them perform. A couple of weeks ago, I went and visited A+ Garage Doors. Now, pretty cool company. They'll do about $40 million this year. They're in full-on merger and acquisition mode, right? Probably the second largest garage door company in the US. $40 million a year, right? And I was talking with the owner, Chrissy, and we were talking about her team. And guess what she was talking about? I spend a lot of time filtering through people, and then I make sure that I hire the right people. And then I make sure that they know what they need to do. And then I get the hell out of their way. Because I realize that if I'm in their way, they are never going to be as efficient, as proficient, and as profitable as I need them to be. Get out of their way. Let it go. All right, we got a couple more folks that have chimed in here. Michael Young, fits just right. Handyman Services out of Utah. Welcome, Michael. We've got Cooper Hunter, Alpha Builders Group out of OKC. Welcome to the show. Oh, Victoria's got a little comment. We'll share it here. Victoria, I'm excited to be here. I'm new to this career after being with the same company for 24 years. Good Lord. Congratulations, Victoria. You'll find everything you need inside of here. Contractor Plus can be your key to freedom. Well done. Well done. All right. Next thing. Number four. Too often as contractors, you get focused on the thing that's in front of you, right? The thing that's in front of you. I got to get this truck fixed, or I got to close this next deal, or I got to make sure I find another guy for this job. Too focused on that and not focused on the big picture. Okay. So what makes you a great leader is your ability to focus on the big picture. The big picture, not the little things that are happening, right? You're getting paid, in air quotes, you're getting paid to make the big decisions. You're not getting paid to figure out, hey, should we put 87 or 92 grade fuel in the truck? Hey, what repair shop should we take the vehicle to get new tires? You're not getting paid for that decision. So quit making that decision. One of the biggest shifts that happened in my company was when I hired my first office manager. Now I had a team of 5, right? But I was managing them all. When I hired my office manager, something strange happened. All those little decisions that I was being asked day in and day out became a burden. Not only that, my office manager, and I want to say this in a bad way because Anna is absolutely amazing. My office manager would get pissed at me because I was still making the decisions that I hired her to make. I had to get out of those weeds. Now, are there times I got to jump in? Yeah, sure. Right. But there's times I don't have to. Like, what swag are we going to use for our next workshop, our next retreat? Oh man, I got all kinds of crazy ideas. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's not a decision I should be making. Right. That's how you have to start thinking about your business. You have to stay big picture. As the CEO of your business, which even if you only have one employee, you're still the CEO. Okay. As the CEO of your business, there's 3 things that you're responsible for, and only 3 things. Vision, where are we going as a company, right? Culture, who are we as a company? Resources, what are we going to need to get there? That's it. Nothing else. As the CEO, yeah, I get it. You're wearing other hats for sure. Eventually, you'll let those go and you'll only focus on that. So, as you start to build your team, you have to understand that you need to back up and get that vision of where we're going. You might have to pivot, you might have to double down. You might have to be the one that closes that big relationship that no one else can close, but you have to keep that big picture in mind. And number 5, kind of crazy, right? Number 5, the most important thing. Go Google this, by the way. You need some time alone. You need some time alone to recharge, to refresh, and to refocus. Period. Right? Alex Hermosi was one of the guys that I follow, been to a couple of his workshops. Amazing guy, built and sold a $50 million gym company. And then now he's full on, investing in companies, has a portfolio worth, a few $100 million. And Alex talks about the fact that too many owners don't spend enough time with no distractions, phone, internet, nothing, and just focused on the idea of growing themselves. Like, what's the thing that fills you up? Is it golf? Is it fishing? Is it hiking, shooting? Whatever the thing is, spend time away from all your distractions. It's kind of crazy that I drive a lot. And I used to drive a lot, obviously, as a cop, but I drive a lot. And I find moments of clarity, no radio, no cell phone, no nothing. It's just windshield time. Windshield time. And these ideas come to me. And these solutions that I've been trying to find come to me. And so now I intentionally try and find time to drive. Hey, I got to go to that place. It's an hour away. Okay, cool. Let's make sure it's in my schedule. It works. All right, it works. Boom. I'm on the road. I'm not thinking about anything. And the solutions come to me. So we call these clarity breaks. You have to take clarity breaks. I'm not talking about sitting on a couch with a beer in your hand watching football. Not a clarity break, right? Clarity break is away from everything and everyone. That's what I'm talking about. All right, to kind of wrap this up, your business and its success depends on you. The success of the people that you hire depends on you. Whether you build a business or a lifestyle depends on you. You have everything that you need to be successful. Trust yourself. Okay. If you need help, hey, there's resources around the corner. If you want to have a conversation with me, love to have a conversation with you. You can shoot me an email. We'll schedule some time. But at the end of the day, trust yourself, bring clarity to your life, bring clarity to your people and your business, and there's nothing that you can't do. All right. You know what time it is. It's time to get after it. 3, 2, 1. Happy Thanksgiving. And off you go.